Welcome to the Zoom Joy of Holidays with families. How many of you are actually enjoying holidays with family, or are you stressed? And that's why I decided to gift this webinar, to create a little bit of tools. Hold on a second, let's mute. Okay, so I'd like to introduce myself first. My name is Dr. Helen Gitlevich, and I'm a medical doctor. A lot of people know me here, but some are new. So I would like to tell a little bit of my story, kind of like to share my journey with you guys. So I'm also facilitator with Access Consciousness and founder and teacher of Akashic Records. So with everything that I've been doing, I'm choosing to create a little bit different life for me. I was born in Russia with kind of still communist regime behind the Iron Curtain. And when I was 17, my mom chose to come to America. And I went to college. I went to medical school. I became a family physician. Practiced for about 10 years with such a gratitude for that life. And then ended up, because of stress, with open heart surgery. I had a bypass at 37. So that kind of stopped me. And all my life I was searching for something different. And I did find Access Consciousness about 7 years ago, which changed my life. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how many of you have done classes with Access. I know quite a few of you did. So you know what I'm talking about. For people who are new to Access, that's joining us now, don't believe anything I say. Just check for yourself. I'm going to introduce a few tools before we start. I'll be using clearing statement in this webinar, which is amazing. It's like a magic wand. To me, we lift up the lies, which is heavy, and that's another tool, light and heavy. So everything that's true will feel light. Everything that's a lie will feel heavy. And my invitation to you is, when we bring the lies, which is a heaviness, allow yourself to destroy it with a clearing statement. This is, you don't have to understand how it works. You don't have to figure it out. Just allow the energy vibration, energy frequency of the clearing statement, just clear it. And the clearing statement is right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. It's short speak. Pretty much everything we've decided that's good, right, perfect, correct, everything that's bad or wrong, we're clearing. POC is point of creation of the limitation that we'll be clearing, and POD is point of destruction. All 9 is 9 layers, shorts, boys and beyonds. You can all read about it in the clearing, in our website, theclearingstatement.com. And you guys can type it in a chat for everybody to see. It's nothing more, just vibrational frequency. So my invitation to you is, look at your families for a second. And by the way, this is your webinar. You can ask as many questions. You can stop me at any moment and ask to be facilitated. I'm not going to facilitate you unless you ask. This is the beauty of Access. Access is about empowering you to know that you know much more than you think you do. So don't let anybody disempower you by telling you what you need to clear, what you have to clear, or what you have to change in your life. My invitation is not about changing you. My invitation for you is to see how great you are despite the judgments of your family. I don't know about you, but I grew up in a family. Their expression of love was, we'll judge you. We'll tell you what's wrong with you. And everything that's good or right, everybody else will tell you. How many of you grew up in the families like that? Yeah. So are you willing to destroy and uncreate all those judgments that you've received throughout all those years that you were growing up, and even now as an adult? How many judgments you're still receiving from the family? Would you be willing to destroy and uncreate that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. For new people to access, that's what we'll be doing throughout the next half an hour, 40 minutes. We'll be bringing up limitations that part of what you were growing up, and that's what's limiting you right now. And a lot of those judgments, a lot of those are lies. So whose lies? What lies? And how many lies are you using to create you as part of your family? Are you choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Whose lies, what lies, and how many lies are you using to create the families you're choosing? And the description and definition of your family you're choosing. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. I prepare a couple of clearings before I open the mic to everybody who would like to be facilitated. I'd like to talk a little bit about caring in this reality. I don't know about you, but a lot of times caring means judgment and abuse. So how many projected future realities that can never be you have about your friends and families? And how many projection, expectation, judgments, and conclusions you have about the families, what it's supposed to look like, what it should look like, how they're supposed to treat you, and what caring is. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. How many of you know how many points of order are you using to create the family you're choosing? And I'll explain in a second what the points of order are. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. A lot of times we deal with chaos and order, but we misidentified them. Because order is everything that's solid, everything that we're ordering to happen. So with the families, a lot of times by our points of view, we are ordering what is created. So one of the examples is, if the family judged you, you decided that they're judgmental, so the more you judge them as judgmental, the more you order it in existence. So how many points of order are you using to create the family you're choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So how are you guys doing? Any questions about having joy of holidays with family. You can ask any questions. Rachel, you have a question? No? Okay. Then we'll just continue with what I kind of like sense everybody or some people might experience with a family. So how many of you have projections about celebrating holidays with families? Are you willing to destroy and uncreate all of those projections and expectations? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And one of the ideas we have is that the parent's supposed to be kind. And if they're abusive, if they're judgmental, a lot of times we judge ourselves as being wrong. So how many of you have decided that you're wrong? Because your parents or your family has been abusive to you. And you've had stress even thinking about going to celebrate holidays with them. Oh, everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What if you shift your ideas about what family should look like? What if you actually acknowledge that they're just assholes? A lot of them. I'm not saying all parents or all families are assholes, but the ones that actually abuse you, are you willing to acknowledge that the problem is not you? Are you willing to finally see the greatness of you? Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pack, pat, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What I would like to do right now, I invite you to drop your barriers and just see who you are. Not in relationship to your families, but just truly see who you are and be with that. No be, receive, and perceive you. Maybe for the next 5 minutes. Would you be willing to drop all your barriers right now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Would you be willing to see who you are and expand that? Go into your heart and just expand beyond your body. Go in all directions. Make yourself as big as the room that you're sitting in and expand beyond that. Go about a kilometer or a mile in each direction, up, down, sideways, and keep expanding. 10 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles, and keep expanding. Keep expanding more and more and more and more. Make yourself as big as the whole earth. And now expand even more into the solar system. And keep dropping the barriers as they come up, because you might have barriers at each stage. Keep expanding, keep expanding, keep expanding. More, 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 more. Even more. Go to the infinity. And now, without contracting, bring your attention into your body. Expand inside. See your organs, see your cells, and now go deeper into that space between the molecules and see if there is any molecule that can change and shift the polarity. It might be a spark of light, it might be a color, it might be just something that you cannot describe. Do not judge it. Just expand that spark throughout the whole universe and beyond. And all the comfortable distance that you've created between you and that essence of you, will you destroy and uncreate that right now? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And now, go back again and see if you can shift another molecule, another dark spot that's there, and just bring the energy of light of consciousness that you are actually is. And expand that light through your body and through the world. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How are you being now? Any change in your body or your being? So what if you came to the holidays with your family, expanded like that? How much can family affect you now? Just look at your family and don't contract. Okay, how many of you just contracted as soon as you even thought about going and seeing your family? Everything that's coming up right now, will you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Expand again and think of your family without contracting. Cool. Is it a little lighter? Yeah. So what if you, every time when you contract, when you're being judged and you contract, what if instead of contracting, you expand and drop your barriers? How much energy it takes to hold your barriers up? Yeah. Are you willing to let go of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what if all of that contraction and all of that stress is not even yours? Would you ask that question? Who does it belong to? And would you return it back? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what if you return everything that is not yours and everything that you're buying, that yours that's not yours, to whoever gave it to you? You don't have to know. Just return it back. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what's the value of holding on to all of those things that's not even yours? Anybody can jump in? And you can unmute yourself and talk. Who would like to go?
It's interesting that you're bringing this up, Helen. I don't have as much resistance. Well, lie. That's a lie.
That's a lie. Yeah.
That's a lie. With most of my family, it's all right. We're cool. There are one or two like trigger pushers, one of whom you met.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whatever, like just being in her presence, it's an automatic like,
Yeah.
even though I'll, oops, sorry, hang on, let me mute that.
So as you can see, even if the whole family is wonderful, there is one or two people that stress us out. So think of that one or two people that stress you out, and for the next 10 seconds, choose to expand. And then and now contract in their presence. And now expand again. But just for 10 seconds. And drop your barriers. And now put the barriers up and contract again, like you normally would. And now drop your barriers and expand. And now put up the barriers and contract again, like you normally would in their presence. How much fun is it contracting now that you know the expansion? Not so much, right? So Rachel, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry. No, I really like that. That's really cool. I just don't necessarily go into a space of even questioning specifically one particular person that you've met. With everybody else, I could be in a space of, you know, taking a step back. What tool can I use? Lowering barriers, expanding. Not a problem. This one though is it's really interesting because I could see it, and yet still fall down that rabbit hole.
So what if instead of going down the rabbit hole, instead of like asking which questions to ask, you would just drop the barriers and expand just for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I like that.
Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pot, all nine shorts, boys, men. So anything that doesn't allow you in the face of stress, in the face of even abuse, anything even dangerous, what if you expand it no matter what is in front of you? Anything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Whose lies, what lies, and how many lies are we using to contract ourselves? We are choosing. Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I'd like to use this clearing actually. Yeah, actually, I like this one. How many points of view are you using to suppress and depress yourself in the face of your family? Are you choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Whose lies, what lies, and how many lies are you using to contract yourself, to depress yourself, suppress yourself, and make yourself invisible in the face of your family? Are you choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, all nine shorts, boys, men. How many of you are limiting your creation because of your family? Because you chose to limit it. And how many of you trying to fit with your family so you wouldn't be greater than your family? Oops.
It's fitting, and it's also planning around them and almost putting ourselves, making family, family a great ideal that it is, bigger than what we know is true for us.
Yeah. So how many, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with jail clearings. It's pretty much putting ourselves in jail with judgment, agendas, inventions, and lies. So how many jails are you using to create the inventions and artificial creations of family as greater than you? You're choosing. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many jails are you using to create the invention and artificial intensity of definitions of family you're choosing as a greater than you, bigger than you, and more powerful than you, instead of you being greater and more powerful than them? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that. Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What's coming up for you guys?
Helen, can I ask something?
Sure.
Okay. So I have this pretty huge family, and generally speaking, most of them I have a great relationship with. And I generally have no problem when they come and see me. They live in my hometown, which is 300 kilometers from where I am. So when I go there for Christmas, what I perceive is this expectation of me not being changed at all, to be the same like when I was 15 or something like that.
Right.
And it comes up very intensely when I go there, at this time for Christmas night. I had a couple of conversations today about that. So what can I do with it?
So what do you know? What can you change? Can you change their expectations?
I gotta know.
Yep. So everywhere where you're still expecting them to change, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So truth, how much are you not an allowance of them having their expectation?
Yeah.
So what if you were in total allowance? What would that create in your life?
A greater ease, of course.
Yeah. So look at that for a second and expand you.
Yeah.
Remember that exercise for 10 seconds?
Yeah.
When you're expanded, look at their expectations. Cool.
It's like they're fainting or something like that.
Right. So now contract like you normally would in the family and put the barriers up. And now look at their expectations.
Yeah. They're like walls.
Yeah. They're huge because you're making yourself much smaller than their expectation. So whose lies, what lies, and how many lies are you using to make yourself smaller than the expectations of your family you're choosing. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Whose lies, what lies, and how many lies are you using to avoid being greater than expectations of you you're choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How old are you being when you go there and kind of like react to their expectations?
Like 16 comes up, like something like that.
So what happened at 16?
What happened at 16?
Mhm.
It's like there's a kind of a void. It's like nothing, nothing serious, like nothing.
It doesn't have to be some traumatic event.
Yeah, it's not a traumatic event. It's more like I withdraw a lot more from my life, from myself.
So what was that? Why did you withdraw?
There's something connected with death, but I don't remember nobody dying at that when I was that age. Something connected with somebody dying. I don't know. There was my uncle. He was a drug addict, and he became really much more serious when I was around that age, like
Okay.
going to jail and things like that.
So how much of their judgment of uncle did you pick up during that time?
Wow.
Did you? A lot,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
how much did you withdraw not to buy even more into that?
Yeah.
So are you willing to destroy and uncreate everything you bought at that time, return it back?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And stupidity is not about being stupid. Stupidity is about unawareness. So what stupidity are you using to continue buying other people's judgments as your own and staying shut down as a 16-year-old you're choosing?
Yeah.
Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. 16 as a teenager, it's difficult age to begin with, and buying other people's projection and expectations even harder. So are you willing to completely destroy all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Are you willing to let go of that 16-year-old?
Yeah.
Thank you. Would you let her go and just be a 16-year-old that just can choose whatever she wants?
Yes.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. How are you feeling now? Thank you.
Lots better. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Helen.
Mm-hmm. And it feels like everybody is vortexing right now. I'm not sure if I can create. Anybody else has any questions that we can play with right now?
Hi. I do have a
Hi.
question.
Hi, Marina.
My dad is choosing to be sick, and I'm trying to heal him with my body, and I'm getting sick. And I know it's an allowance thing, but how can I have allowance for that and myself? And it's all very confusing, and I don't know.
Marina, have you taken classes in Access, or are you new?
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
So, Truth, have you acknowledged you're a healer?
Yes.
Completely?
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Part of when we don't acknowledge completely that we're healers, we don't have a choice. We have to heal with our body. Our body has to take on everybody's illness. When we acknowledge that we're a healer, then we have a choice. We can look at what we are aware of and then choose, okay, is it a kindness to heal this person, or is it a kindness to let him or her go? So everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge you're a healer, would you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, battle, 9 shorts, boys, minutes. What's the value of not acknowledging?
That I get to blame my sickness on others, maybe?
So are you willing to let go of that?
Yes.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, back, battle, 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. What bastardization? And bastardization is when you take something good and change it into something different. So what bastardization of infinite love are you using to create holding your father alive are you choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all 9 shorts, boys, minutes. Don't think right now. Are you familiar with Eternal Jailer?
No.
Okay. So don't think, is your father Eternal Jailer for you?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. I'm going to pull that up because I don't remember it by heart. It's a long clearings. So, and actually I'm going to ask people on the Zoom too, how many of you have been sentenced to have an eternal jailer? So basically, eternal jailer is somewhere where, I don't know how many years ago, thousands of years ago, we've decided we've done something wrong. And we assign somebody to be our eternal jailer. It can be a mother, a father, a brother. It's somewhere, or a husband. It's somebody who is close to us. And they're usually judging us. And kind of like we're keeping them alive to make sure that they keep judging us. Does that describe your father?
Yes, a bit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So again, stupidity is about unawareness. So what stupidity are you using to create the reality of being eternally jailed? Are you choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. What stupidity are you using to create the total choicelessness you're choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. What stupidity are you using to create the father you're choosing? Or mother for other people? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. What total stupidity are you using to create keeping your father alive? Are you choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, back and pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. What stupidity are you using to create the torture you're choosing? Oops. Everything
yeah.
that is, we destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, pat, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So what if you chose something different? What if you chose to acknowledge you're a healer and chose what is the kindness here instead of taking on his illness?
Okay.
Everything that doesn't allow you to be totally present and aware, know, be, receive, and perceive all the AIs, all the artificial intelligences, and all the algorithms that keeping you stuck there, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And how many contracts, oaths, vows, fealties, commitments, promises, judgments, conclusions, and computations do you have with your father to keep him alive? You're choosing.
Wow.
All of those from any lifetime, timeline, space, dimension, reality, universes, and conflictual universes, will you revoke, recant, resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate that totally?
Yes.
Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Whatever I just said, because sometimes I don't remember my clearings.
Uh-huh.
You destroy and uncreate that, and revoke, recant,
Yes.
resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, all of that, times a gazillion. Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. Let's see what we can create now
Yeah.
with the
Thank you
different
very much.
realities. Thank you, Renella. So I think that kind of concludes our Zoom for today. On that note, it's been such a pleasure, and I'm hoping to see you one of those days in person. I'm traveling, so my next class is actually here in Chicagoland. Will be 3-day body class.
Wow.
And on the new year, nonetheless. Talking about
Oh.
enjoying your body with holidays. And
It's
then
so
I'm going.
much nicer to enjoy a 3-day body class on the new year than have to beat yourself over the head with stupid resolutions that
Yeah.
are just judgment after judgment after judgment anyway. What a gift.
Exactly. So I'm going to invite you to Milan for next body class.
Yeah.
Right, Alicia? We're doing
What
it
from the 25th to the 27th of January.
will be translated into Italian. I think I'm going to Mexico City in March. Right,
Wow.
Moni? March 22nd through 24.
Yes.
And in Russia, probably in the summer or September, the dates are still kind of floating.
I will
I
give
just-
a shameless plug, Helen.
Yes.
I've had several body classes with several different body class facilitators. And the class that I had with you in El Salvador still is unwinding, unfolding, and it's been a few weeks. And it's been such a huge contribution in my life. I wanted you to know that literally, like everything in my reality changed after that class. And I am incredibly grateful. Thank you.
Thank
So
you,
nobody's
Rachel.
going to have like any change at all if they choose.
No. Don't choose body classes because yeah, and I am doing foundation and body class in Canada in the April and May. So, but for all of those classes, you can go to the website. Access website has all my schedule, like facelift and like smaller classes. And the bars class, I'm facilitating with Rachel, my daughter. Rachel,
Wow.
where are you? Would you introduce yourself? Did she? Hi, she's right there. We're co-facilitating a class at the beginning of January 6th.
Wow.
So just a little commercial.
Little PSA.
Yeah. So thank you, and I will see you soon somewhere in the world. Bye.
Thank you so much, Helen.
Thank you. Oh, I
Thank
need to
you.
stop recording, I think. Ciao.